Hello, everyone. My name is Jayla Askew, and this is our case three, our comprehensive case, a boundaryless organization. So, in the case, it discusses a company known as New School Groups, and is classified as a transnational company as well as a boundaryless organization. And the CEO and founder of the organization is Gerd Finger. He employs about 115 employees, so it's like working with a small family. And his employees are located in three different areas of the world. One is in Berlin, and in Berlin, a majority of the employees do make new products and they do a lot of strategizing for the company. And in Ukraine, this is where they give a lot of outsourcing to the programmers for the music software and the other products as well. And Los Angeles is used mainly for marketing and planning for that because a lot of their consumers and customers are English speaking, so Los Angeles seemed to be the best place to place their marketing strategy. Um, the CEO, he implements all employees into the decision making process. So he gets rid of the chain of command and the span of control, which eliminates certain boundaries that makes it a boundaryless organization. The company currently produces music software, but because of recent piracy issues, the company had to move to producing music hardware. And with those recent changes, it has led to a lot of lack of communication within the company and the different departments located around the world. Even though that the company has some problems, it's still known to be an innovative and creative company in the music software industry. Okay, so a boundaryless organization is classified as a company or organization that gets rid of vertical and horizontal barriers that allow the company to transcend over those and even geographical barriers. So in the company New School Groove, since it's classified as a boundaryless organization, they have got rid of the chain of command and reduced the span of control in the company. And there are some key disadvantages and advantages to becoming a boundaryless organization and some problems that may come up in New School Grooves as a result of a boundaryless organization strategy implemented are a lack of authority and structure within the business. So this means that people who need structure and guidance for their everyday tasks wouldn't be able to succeed as well as someone who's more creative and innovative in the workplace. So in the case, it discusses how the programmers in Kiev, Ukraine, they were having a hard time adjusting to his leadership style because the workers were so used to having a strong leadership style role and them basically being told what to do. And with the CEO of New School Grooves, he was more laid back and he wanted to let the employees be more creative with themselves and with what the company could do as a whole. Another disadvantage that it will produce is it creates kind of a lack of a core value and mission for the company, such as in the case it discusses how one of the ladies from the marketing office described how she had implemented a strategy for a new marketing campaign, but because she wanted to implement famous singers and famous DJs, the CEO shot down her ideas immediately because that's not what he felt was right for the company, but it should be a joint mission and a joint core value for them to succeed and be successful in a company. Another disadvantage would be the lack of communication between the departments. In the case New School Grooves, he did a lot of allowing the employees to work away from the offices, so there was less face-to-face communication. And this resulted in people having difficulties trying to get a hold of the CEO and the different departments, which made it less efficient and it took a longer time to get one task done than what it should have done to get it right the first time. However, even though there are disadvantages, there are some major advantages to implementing a boundaryless organization, such as it leads to more innovative and creative workers and independent workers by allowing them to make their own decisions and work off their feet. They're able to become more innovative and creative, which leads to more independent workers. Another advantage is it can increase outsourcing and maximize profits. When you get rid of, horizontal and vertical barriers, it allows for more companies to get past geographical and cultural barriers. So it will allow the companies to be able to outsource more of the resources to different countries and different departments where they want to locate international, which can maximize the company's profits. Another advantage of the boundaryless organization is that the company can transcend the geographical and cultural barriers that are set in place with most international companies. So that means that some companies, such as Apple and Coca-Cola, they're considered international companies, so they have really transcended those geographical and cultural barriers to be able to have their companies thrive in different parts of the countries that most organizations and businesses can succeed in. And another advantage of the boundaryless organization is that it can produce more effective and more efficient work teams that can participate in the decision-making process. And within the case, it talks about how the workers will be able to do their own decisions and not have to go up the chain of command for a task. So this can be more useful because you'll have more teams working on group projects together to try to complete a common goal. So those are some advantages and disadvantages of a boundaryless organization.
No, the file's too big. Like for everyone, the file's too big. Upload it has to be like a certain millibyte, gigabyte, or whatever. But we have too many videos. Huh? Try to do the YouTube thing. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. What you doing here, sir? Oh my gosh. did, did you just not notice he took your monitor? Oh. It's okay, baby. It's okay, baby. He has to. He told us that we have to do a video presentation. Like the last two cases that we had to do, we had to do it voice, so we didn't have to have what do you call it? Our videos in it. But now that our videos are in it, the file's too big to submit, so it's stressful. has to be video. I don't know.
Hello, my name is Chanel Anderson, and I'll be answering question 2. In this boundaryless company, headquartered in Berlin, Germany, and having their structured outsourcing companies in several parts of the world, there's so many different employees with different cultures trying to collaborate to achieve organizational goals. They're on top of that, they're very diverse in values and their personality and their work preferences that are on the deep levels of diversity. Some cultural issues will arise in the workplace, and that causes unpleasant or just awkward situations for employees to have to deal with. They might not want to work together, and some conflict may arise from it when it comes to decision making because no one really understands each other. So, as a leader, I think it's important that you take time to research the background information of your members and get to know, their gender, their race, just surface level things about them that'll help you better understand their work preferences. Um, and with the conflicts in New School, like they had difficulty with making decisions, and people thinking that what they came up with as a solution was better than the next person's. Um, and that's another issue that comes with so many people working together. You have people that are that have so many different options for a problem. Everyone's going to stick to their guns and think that they are the right person with the right answer. And it's not a function of different types of work that people have to perform. It's just people from different areas and departments can contribute differently with their opinions, and we still got to come up with one decision. So it's not that easy to come up with when you have so many people trying to say that their solution is better than the next person's. Another issue that will arise is inefficiency or not being able to get things done, and that's because when you don't understand what exactly is supposed to be a solution for your organizational structure or your organizational issues, sometimes we do tasks that aren't even related to finding the solution. So, when we don't understand each other and we have those boundaries that keep us from working all together on one accord and understanding, you run into problems where we're not doing tasks that are even relation. We're just wasting resources. Um,
Okay, question number 2 within question 4 states basically talks about the principles of selections when the within the hiring process. So, three of the selections would be enthusiasm, stability, and it basically identifies the measurements that portrays a person, and it shows if they're responsible, dependable, creative, all of the different aspects that a company would need for a potential candidate. Secondly, would be confidence. It's the amount of trust and loyalty that the potential candidate is willing to show within the company. So it helps them be able to know if the person would really come to work, would they get the job done, and would they be a best fit for their company. Lastly, is the core selection, and basically it helps current or potential employees understand their weaknesses and strengths. So it will help them be able to know what they need to work on, or how their weakness or strength could help the company. Okay, the last part of question 4 talks about which of the big 5 traits should be used when the new school supervisors when using selection. So I decided to use openness because it allows the supervisor to expand their flexibility and allows them to come more adaptive within the company. They are able to do different things and become aware of their employees as well as the company at hand. And secondly, I chose conscientiousness because it deals with the training and the consistency of the employees. It helps them to be complete with the task at hand, and it helps them to become very well organized. Hello, and my name is Deja Bridget. I had question number 4. The first section of question 4 states the human resources that should be implemented into the organization. I said that the organization should implement the stimulation test because it gives clear understanding views on how to discover whether the applicant is can carry out the occupation at the organization. This test can be complex or confusing, but it is the best way because it measures out the accuracy of the potential candidate for the job. It is also designed to increase the population within the company because it helps them be able to decide the potential candidates, and which the potential candidates can increase the job and help them increase different things within the organization or the company. Secondly, would be the work test, and it is basically hands-on stimulations, and it also provides human resource practices within the organization. So basically, it helps the organization be able to determine if a future candidate or potential candidate can work up under pressure if it was something that they needed done. It shows them how to basically do the job before actually getting into the organization or the company.
Hi, my name is Lisa Mize, and this is question 5. Evaluating employee performance and providing feedback is very important when companies are trying to improve employee behavior and productivity. It also helps to increase member communication, interaction, and collaboration. There are many forms of performing evaluations, and I believe that using a mix of formal and informal performance evaluation systems for the 3 locations would be beneficial to this company. For this company, it is important to monitor and evaluate individual task outcomes and also the negative and positive behaviors that can impact employee productivity. It is also important to provide multiple sources of ratings with various assessments because it would help to obtain a more reliable, unbiased, and accurate performance evaluation.
Love you too, baby.
The Berlin and Los Angeles offices should each use a 360-degree feedback appraisal that will let the employees receive performance feedback from their peers and their superiors. Using written essays would be a useful appraisal because it is much easier and does not have standardized scoring keys. Since these offices require very high rates of compensation, the forced comparison evaluations can be used for these locations. These forms of evaluations make it easier to allocate rewards according to particular classifications or rank orders. The Keefe office should also use a 360-degree feedback appraisal and written essays as well. But since they do not require high rates of compensation like the other offices, the forced comparison method would not be necessary. Now, question 6. It is important to establish a socialization program that will help the employees learn and adapt to the organizational culture. New School can increase organizational socialization by providing employee recognition programs that will help maximize employees' creativity and independence. The employees' recognition programs will help the star performers feel appreciated for their contribution, which will motivate them to continue their admirable efforts. The rest of the employees that do not compare in creativity will try to maximize their efforts to try to capture the opportunity of being rewarded as well. Now, not all of the employees across the company need equal levels of creativity. The different locations all perform different tasks which require different levels of creativity. The tasks performed within the Keefe office require the least amount of creativity to perform their task. The Berlin office requires some kind of creativity to help with the designing of the products. The Los Angeles office requires the most amount of creativity because parts of their task is to create persuasive forms of attracting customers effectively.